of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scott Shepard, Ron Lawrence, Phil Snyder.
I'm going to ask the public to state their name as you go around, please.
Steve Tomlinson.
Pat Davis.
Frank Bedell.
Al Dunham.
Bill Bowers.
Frank Fernandez.
Matt Wolford.
John Stortecki.
David Pinkham.
Chelsea Hartman. Susan Ford.
Jim Clemenson.
Charles J.
Mark.
David Roger.
Steve Preston.
Donna Downs.
I'm person.
Sorry.
The approval of the 6/16/26 minutes and your 7/7/26 minutes. I'll make a motion. I get a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public input. Our public input is 2 minutes. Yes, Mr. Here.
My name is David Rogers, former council person here. In my opinion, the town of Benson should not be considering moving away from the town of Hope solid waste transfer station for several reasons. A resolution adopted by the board after adequate public notice to move forward with the concept of a town of Benson transfer station was not done. Second, a feasibility study or conference with all agencies involved to determine if the concept is a viable one was not done. Three, lack of public input. A public hearing to gather residents and neighbors' input should have been held long before taking steps to purchase a roll-off truck and containers, regardless of the timing and availability of the truck. Four, staffing limitations. Managing a facility like this is an impossibility for the current staffing levels in the town of Benson, especially with the constant staff turnover recently. Inadequate facilities. The existing physical plant is not adequate to support a transfer station. The costs involved in bringing the facility up to code for a transfer station have not been determined and would be considerable. And lastly, neighborhood impacts. The various items brought to the transfer station would draw insects, rodents, noise, dirt, dust, etc. The neighbors in the vicinity of Town Barn Road and Thayer Roads would likely be very opposed to the whole concept, the distance to the nearest residential dwelling being quite short. In addition, the town of Hope is much more qualified to run a transfer station than the town of Benson. It has been doing so very successfully for many years with the skill sets required to faithfully comply with all applicable New York State and federal regulations, which, if violated, can carry hefty fines and other penalties. The town of Hope has the necessary leadership, skilled management, and facility in place, none of which the town of Benson possesses. The fact that the town of Benson may be considering buying property to build a new town barn to locate a transfer station is ludicrous, especially given the constrained fiscal environment in which we find ourselves, as well as the ability to find available land in the town. In the immediate future, the town of Benson and the town of Hope should form a committee to develop a long-term plan for the eventual merger of both governments, beginning with the respective highway departments and eventually all town government. Finally, we should move beyond petty squabbles and personality conflicts with the town of Hope for the good of Benson residents and taxpayers. All employees and officials should remember that you represent the town of Benson in all actions on the job, not your individual self. Respectfully submitted, David J. Ryan.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
Well, I understand the board's desire to find alternatives for outsourcing waste management. Establishing an active solid waste consolidation and storage facility at the town barn introduces significant public health, safety, and environmental issues and liabilities. Under New York State law, a municipal action involving the acquisition of equipment establish a local waste storage site is a physical action requiring a strict State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR. If a SEQR review was not executed before July 7th vote on the acquiring of the roll-off truck and 6 containers, the resolution stands in direct violation of state environmental law and is subject to immediate legal invalidation. Because the town of Benson is located within the protected boundaries of the Adirondack Park, the town does not have unilateral authority to change the land use properties of the town garage. Converting a municipal garage meant for vehicle and equipment storage into an active solid waste staging area constitutes a material change in use, which will result in losing the current grandfathered non-conforming use status. This requires formal review, jurisdictional inquiry, and a permit from the Adirondack Park Administration. Town Barn Road residents, which I am on, have realistic environmental concerns. Rainwater entering these 6 large roll-off containers will inevitably mix with the sitting garbage, creating highly toxic leachate. Unlike engineered commercial transfer stations, the town garage lot lacks infrastructure required to manage toxic waste fluids. Other state mandated requirements must be resolved, which are public safety, odor, and wildlife protection. No action plan is currently available to residents or any cost analysis that would provide a reasonable indication that the taxpayers would benefit from this venture. Researching the seeker requirements process, exempt or full permit, will put extreme pressure on the town's budget and limited workforce. After calculating the cumulative costs, permitting, compliance, and monitoring of the solid waste program, this process justify complaints about increased tipping fees from Hope? Another potential solution. I found from public property records that Benson owns a 2-acre parcel of vacant commercial property on Washburn Road. That looks like a better fit and much larger footprint. Probably the most likely solution is to negotiate with Hope and keep the status quo. Thank you. Thank you.
More public input? Steve? If it's over?
Yeah.
I'd like,
Thank you guys for letting me come tonight. You want me to go ahead?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I just have a few things. I don't have anything written down, but I do have a lot of facts and stuff with me. I'm going over this in my head and talked about this at meetings. And for one, I'm pretty disappointed the way all this went about. I wasn't notified. I called Phil after I found out watching the YouTube video. We work very hard in Hope to keep the transfer station going. It's a lot of work. We have two men work there every week. Our highway guys work there almost tirelessly during the week. Whether it's plowing the snow, seeing the mowing, just so many things that they do. Keeping it clean. We do monitoring and testing of the wells. We pay Barton and LaJudas. They do that. Half of Benson's garbage is in our transfer station. So those costs are never going to go away. Those are going to be your costs forever. And I know you guys have talked about cutting ties and stuff like that, but half your garbage is in our ground up there. So those fees are going to go on forever. And I've heard a lot of things about like negotiating costs and fees and stuff like that. The reality is, in the last 4 years, we haven't raised our fees at all. They've stayed flat. Phil's asked me to keep them flat. I have done that. We've paid the guys more every year. They've gotten 5% increases, salary increases. Fuel's gone up, insurance has gone up. We've eaten all that. We haven't raised the price. So this year, our proposal for 2027, I know you guys threw on it was like $20,000, but the transfer station cost increase was $5,456. So that equals a 2% increase over the last 4 years. So I don't know why we have to negotiate a 2% increase. To me, it's insane.
We'd like to stay. We're trying to save the taxpayers money.
Well, let me keep going.
I'd like to give you this too.
Yeah, well, let me just,
Okay, go ahead.
so part of it, we sent you guys, we called you guys for a meeting, you guys came over, and I know there's a lot going on. So there's stuff going on with the highway departments, there's, that we can't control as far as the town. The highways are different kind of animals, they do what they do, we can't control what our highway does. I wish they would work together, we ask them to work together better, but that's something I can't tell them to do or control what they do. As far as the transfer station costs, we sent that proposal over to you guys. The increase for 2027 was just over $5,000. So to me, that doesn't justify going out and spending unbelievable amounts of money to buy a roll-off truck, dumpsters, putting a new facility in for a $5,000 increase over the last 4 years. So now, we did send a bill, because why we called you guys for a meeting, we went over some issues that we had at our landfill with using a loader, with doing some damage, whether it was done by whoever, it doesn't matter. So what we did is we sent, my highway superintendent figured up a bill, so that bill was, I think, $14,000 for the loader. We just did $27,000 in repairs to our loader, all new pins and bushings, and it's a tremendous amount of money to that loader's a lot of money. So what he did was took the cost to rent a new loader, split it in half, and that's what they sent you the bill for moving forward. Because we said when we did this, we thought this was a temporary situation. So let's work together and figure out if it's not going to be temporary, what's the outcome going to be? How do we move forward and make it fair for both parties? So I gave it to my highway superintendent. These are the numbers that he came up with. And I thought they were fair. I mean, it was $30-some thousand to rent that loader for 6 months. He cut it in half. If we have to move forward buying a new loader, we can't afford one. I mean, we have to split that cost. 2 years ago, we blacktopped the road. We didn't share those costs with you guys. That was $37,000. Last year, we did the new retaining wall to hold the dumpsters in. That was $17,000. We didn't share any of those costs with you guys. We ate it all. So then to find all this out, it was really heartbreaking for us as a town. So I feel like we've been over backwards to help you guys. We'll continue to do that in the future. That's why we asked you guys to come up and have a meeting and talk about how to move forward. And we just didn't think it was just going to be ended. I was very disappointed. So.
If you look at the page again,
Yep.
we'd like to we'd be satisfied to be a district. We'd like to be a district, and we would consider going along with Hope, but we'd like to be a district, and we'd like to have it so it's on a tax bill. Every taxpayer is equal. Everybody in Hope gets taxed, just like our fire tax. That's in the accountability. We don't know where our money goes when you don't come to us with any.
I sent it to you, though. I sent you all the breakdown.
No, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about where is our $10,000 for the truck? Is that in a bank account? Or
No, let's
we don't know where that
if we're
money
going to do line by item, let's do line by line. Okay, so.
we don't know where that money is.
Well, let me tell you where the money is. So 2 years ago, several years ago, we bought that truck. I think it was 8, 9 years ago. We bought that old roll-off. Had nothing but problems with it. You guys knew it. It was sat for 6 months. It was in and out of garages for over 6 months out of the year. So I came to you, I said, Phil, we're borrowing trucks, the county's hauling for us, we're hiring people out to haul dumpsters, had to rent a truck. I said, we have to buy a truck. We have no other options. We have to buy a new truck, $140,000. And in the past, we've always split that. Town of Hope and Town of Benson, so the truck is $140,000, we each cut a check for $70,000. It's always been that way. I came to you, I said, we have to do this. Your response to me was, we have no money. We can't do that. So I said, well, what are we going to do? We have to buy a truck. We ate the $140,000. We bought the truck. Then we revised the contract. So in that, what you want to do, you agreed to, $10,000 per year would go towards the cost of what we had spent on a truck.
Right.
You don't own anything. We don't own anything. And after 14 years, the truck is worth nothing.
I know.
Well, I don't understand
what we're talking about.
Bank account with money in
the
it.
last 4 years.
No, that's what you just said to me.
We don't know. We don't have any accountability.
No, you know. I do. You don't know.
You need to tell us.
I do tell you. You just got the contract. It has all the breakdowns in it.
No, but is there $80,000 in the bank for the truck, or is there just the 40?
There's no money, Phil. We just bought the truck for $140. What money? You didn't give us any money.
We give you $10,000 a month.
You just started doing that 2 years ago, Phil. That's because that's what it costs.
It was 23 we started.
There's no money. What are you talking about? I don't understand what your logic is. This is a contractual expense now, that
If
$10,000
we're giving
is
you,
built into a
we're
contractual
giving you
expense.
$10,000
I don't
per
know,
year
I can't,
for the truck.
I can't explain it to you if you don't understand it.
Is that money already spent, or is that money
That's
in
not
a?
a truck.
We bought a truck, Phil, it was $140,000.
I know, but.
You gave us 10.
Was it, that truck was never paid for? I don't understand what you're saying.
We're supposed to be reimbursing you?
Yeah, I mean, it became a contractual expense per year. That number is now 10,000. Instead of you guys writing a check for 70, you wanted to pay 10,000 a year because we know the
So,
truck
okay, I
wasn't.
understand you now, we're endorsing.
What do you now, Phil? We went over this 3 years ago. If not now, it's nothing
I
new.
understand what you're saying.
I don't understand. I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. We had it
Are
in
you
writing.
interested in the 2 pages I gave you of having a district?
No, the question is, Phil, are you? Because this
Yes, we
is
are.
gonna cost you probably $200,000 a year. If you wanna share all of our expenses, like the blacktop for $37,000.
We don't
and
know
the
what the
retaining wall that we just put
We
in.
don't know what the expenses are up there.
Because every time I tell you what they are, Phil, you don't wanna hear about it, and you say, we have no money. That's God's honest truth. That's literally what it is. Every time there's an increase, Benson has no money. We can't afford it. So you leave us hanging. We're always hung out to dry. That's why I have to do this. That's why I send in these contracts. Everything's broken down now. There's no questions. You guys are getting a great deal. You should be bending over backwards to write the check.
Why don't you show us on paper?
Do you want all our bills that we pay every week, every month?
No, we
I
just,
mean, what, I don't,
we'd like to know what it.
I broke, if you want the numbers and do it, I broke everything down, exactly what it cost us to have you. You paid us $50,000 last year for the transfer station. It cost us $76,000. So, are you gonna give me a check tonight, or is that how you wanna do it? I don't know, Phil. We're bending over backwards to help you guys.
We have, John Storpeck, he always asks us about the contract and where is that money going? And for a partial truck that we don't ever own. Is that correct, John?
In essence, yes. In essence, yes.
So we're paying for something that we never own.
Sorry.
I'm just saying,
Right.
We sold that truck.
so we're trying to tell him where that money's going.
We sold the truck that we split together, what, 8, 9 years ago, and I cut Phil a check for half what we sold it for.
Right.
Did I not?
Yeah, you gave us a check. Yeah.
There's nothing.
I'm just trying to explain to where we're coming from, so is that in the contract that we're paying for the price of the truck that's already been paid for? In the contract, is that the way it's outlined?
I sent it, the contract. I don't know if he gave it to you guys or not, but
Yeah, the contract that you just sent?
no, the one that you've had every year.
Yeah.
It's all broken down. All the fees are broken down.
I think what they're trying to ask properly is Benson going to be on the title of this machine after it's purchased? If we're paying for half of it.
No,
This
we're
is
not.
the ship that sailed 3 years ago. We had these discussions 3 years ago. They couldn't afford to write us a check to own half the truck. So now we broke the truck, buying a new truck into the contract.
Okay.
So basically, they're just leasing the truck, but with $10,000 a year,
That's what it
the
costs.
use of the truck.
That's the
They're
replacement,
leasing it
it's a
for 10
replacement
grand.
cost.
That's basically what it is. You don't own it after it's paid off. You don't own it. You just lease it.
Can we get can the public see that contract? Because contracts involve service, possible equity, but mostly service and the responsibilities of both parties.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean, Phil, I don't think, a title to a vehicle. Because the vehicle is providing a service, from what I understand, is providing a service for Benson and Hope.
Yes.
And that commingling of service is going to be in a legal binding contract defining what the function of that contract is, not who owns what. Am I mistaken?
That's exactly right. Like, we do the same with dumpsters, dumpster repairs. You guys don't own half the dumpsters. Your name's not on the dumpster, but you're
Benson's
paying.
C&D dumpster has been missing for 2 years and it hasn't been replaced.
We're
And our
waiting-
dumpster is overflowing every week.
I know.
Every week.
Well, I know, we've had one on order for over almost a year now. It's supposed to be in any time. That's why it's very difficult to even get any.
Can I ask you a simple question
Yeah,
now?
sure.
What is the yearly budget for the transfer station and how much of that percentage-wise do we pay versus Hope?
I'll have to get all the numbers for you.
I just wanna see if we're paying an overabundance of the budget versus Hope, or if we're paying half, or if we're paying.
Well, I have,
Well, we're talking 400 people in Hope and 200 in Benson.
well, see, that's true. So we've separated that by tipping fees. So it doesn't matter, we're providing a service. Like you guys were talking about being open 2 days a week, 2 hours a week, or 3 hours, or 4 hours a week. We're open 4 days a week. That comes at a cost. I mean, it costs more for labor to be open 4 days a week and provide that service. We've tried to close to 3 days a week, and we've had outrage by people, so.
I think we can have a conversation. I mean, we haven't done anything other than buy that truck, which we can sell rather quickly. We haven't done anything major yet, so, I mean.
And I understand where you're coming from, being blindsided. But the meeting that I was at, it was a lot of rhetoric towards Benson about they do this to us, they do this to
That we
us.
didn't know.
And then as soon as Mike said something about, hey, let's have a camera put up, oh no, we can't do that. There's no phone lines, or there's phone up there. You get it, the only people who don't wanna have a camera there are the people who don't wanna be seen. So Mike comes up with a camera idea, and then all of a sudden it gets shot down.
We actually talked about the camera meetings, and before you guys even came there, we discussed it.
You know, you can't put a camera up because well, you got a phone line up there, so I'm sure you can put a booster up and put a camera up.
A phone line is much different. There's literally, you can't get internet up there. That is strictly a phone line.
Okay.
I get service at the playground at the transfer station.
Yeah, now you do.
You get service now because the Verizon tower that was
But
installed last year.
regardless of what that may
That's
be,
not internet.
That's something that we would, it would help us. Because and then looking at the board here, the conversations you and Phil might have together that we don't hear.
Sure.
Or the conversations between Mike and your supervisor.
I know.
We don't hear that too, so we're kind of blindsided to what's going on. So what we have in a sense, we hear is a big pissing contest between everybody. They broke this, you broke that, well, you broke this, you used this overtime.
That's why I really wanted to emphasize breaking up the transfer station in the highway use stuff. The loader, the sand and salt, the fuel, those are separate items. These are items that if our highway departments can't work together, so be it. We can't work together. But our transfer station is here forever. I don't think this is something that we need to break ties from, or I don't think there's anything that we can't figure out.
Plus, you have a lot of added costs, I'm assuming, a lot of added costs because you already had a dump there.
Yeah.
The added cost of all of that. I just don't know if we should, down in Benson, should be paying for that, even though we did take advantage of it all those years too.
Yeah.
We understand that all, I understand that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we said at the meeting, and I know it didn't go great, and I think most of that was because of stuff in the highway departments. So that they broke this, they broke this. It is what it is. I don't know what. It didn't go the greatest, and I completely agree with you. But it doesn't mean that we can't work together and move forward with the transfer station.
As a town of Hope, what's the town of Hope's concern with us? Are you,
We have
do you
no
take a
concerns.
hit or
No.
something? No.
I think we talked about it last meeting. It is, if you guys leave, it is what it is. We have landfill attendants that absolutely love having Benson come, and the ones that have shown a lot of concern to us that they like to have the inclusion of the two towns at the transfer station. Other than that, we'll be fine.
Steve, are you a full permit transfer station or permit exempt?
No, we're permitted.
They have buried stuff there. I went for DCM.
Yeah, because I'd be concerned, I know we've been going on the assumption, at least I've been told, that we're exempt because of the amount of tonnage. My concern is, I had seen in the minutes of last meeting that we're gonna take CD. Now, CD opens up another can of worms with regard to separation and what you can and cannot put in. And as a blanket statement, all my information, by the way, comes off of publicly available state agency websites. So my concern for, if we move ahead with the transfer station, even on limited, on a permit exempt, I mean, we're exempt, we're not, you know, we're observed and, you know, and have to oblige.
I do have a lot to do with the reporting of the DC and the, you know, all the reporting that it's a tremendous amount of paperwork. It goes through the Hamilton County, Zach does some of it also. But you have to report how much recycling comes in, how much waste oil comes in, C&D, bag garbage, all of it. Everything has to be recorded, as well as we're doing well testing and monitoring. We have an outside agency that comes in and tests our wells and monitors it every single, you know, 2-3 times a year. And that fee is almost $8,000 a year. They'll pay every single year. So and that's because of the garbage that's in the well, or in the ground already. So. But other than that, there's a lot to do with it. There's you know, scrap metal in the recycling, and like I said, the waste oil, the batteries, and the propane tanks, and it just goes on and on.
Yeah, because we could not take any of that. Even if we have CD, I'd be scared driving up Benson Road here and seeing all the CD stuff that should go in your dump is gonna be on the side of the road. That's my concern. And then downstairs coming up for the
tires.
For the summer, they're gonna bring all their big stuff that's, I used to live in Jersey, I know what it's like. It's easier to dump up here.
People from they have homes in New Jersey or wherever, they bring their stuff here. TVs, all the electronics, they have to pay per item to get rid of them, but here we take them. The tires are huge. It's a huge amount of work to do the tires. And we haul most of that stuff. The county comes and gets recycling, but we do cardboard, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, cardboard. What else do we haul? Tires?
Yeah, all the propane tanks we have to take apart and bring down to a place in Mayfield.
And now we're even blessed with doing all the returnables, the 5-cent returnables. It's a major job, and it's a lot of work. Our highway guys now are left to do it because we can't find anybody to take the returnables. So now to get rid of the mess, our highway guys are finding time during the day to go up there and sort bottles and clean them just to get rid of the mess, because we can't. We used to get paid for recycling as a county. Now we're paying more than garbage per ton to get rid of recycling. So.
What is the timeline to move forward with the transfer station or move forward with Hope? Because not counting our fund balance, $60,000 is a good percentage of our budget for the year. That's probably 6.5%. So that's a big number just to be sitting on. If we're not going to do something, or we're going to do something, what is the timeline with the contract and everything else like that?
Our contract with you guys is at the end of the, December 31st. So January 1st, you guys, if you guys are pulling out, I haven't really heard. All I heard is you guys bought a truck.
I'd like to see, like, if we don't have money to contribute toward a truck, where are we gonna get the money to build a transfer station
Exactly.
of our own and house it? And then, like, where's that coming from?
There's a lot of hidden costs that you can. It's very readily available online. There's a lot of hidden costs that the town board either hasn't looked into or didn't express at the last meeting. The dumpsters can't be just rolled off on the dirt. They have to be covered. They have to be fenced. Now
they have to be enclosed.
Right, they have
to be 4 walls and the roof.
Right, and there has to be a fire suppression system in any new construction with transfer stations. You have to have control of the smell. There is you're talking that $60,000 that you guys are potentially worried about is going to be 6 times that just to get started, just to get your first bag of garbage in the dumpster.
We haven't done anything yet though, and that's if.
You spend $60,000.
Money for no reason.
To save money though.
No.
Under secret, you are now exposed to liability for spending money on the truck that I know you could probably come back and say, well, it's a vehicle, and town garages buy vehicles. No, in your resolution, you said it was specifically for the dump in lieu of not going to Hope. So right there, that's textbook. You can. I'm worried. I love this town. I'm worried about liabilities that are going to incur. And a lot of times, liability, not only a slap on the wrist, but fines.
I got a quick question for you, Steve. What makes it in your budget do you put all the costs in there for in your budget to associate the truck? The paving, whatever maintenance that you're gonna have every year? Where do you get that money from? You get, obviously, you get it from the taxpayers, right?
We have everything built into line items in our budget.
Now, if you have that all built into your budget, if we were all on the same tax base, say the town of Benson paid a garbage tax, just like we do with the fire station, what would that amount be? Could you do that? I mean, then it's broke out for our budget too.
I think Town Hope's willing to do anything and work together.
I just don't know if you come up with that cost for all of the, then we have then there's no question about $10,000 a year for a truck.
Sure.
It's all built into the tax where we can go back to the taxpayer and say, this is what we're paying for the land, well, this tax is gonna be how much this is for on your bill.
I can't speak for my board, but I will bring back those thoughts, and I would really highly suggest that if we could have some kind of, I don't think this could even be done in 1 or 2 meetings.
No.
You're gonna need several committee meetings to go over something like this and discuss it. I for one, don't have any problems with doing a little bit more work, and if you guys feel like it's more fair for both towns, I just can tell you it's gonna cost you at least double. Because if you guys wanna eat all the costs and share it in hand with all the costs and expenses that we don't share with you guys, I'm sure that our town board would be more than willing to do that. So, I mean, we have a lot of ongoing costs that we don't share with you guys.
You don't know what that is though.
Like I just said, for Blacktop alone, last year we spent $37,000 that we didn't share with you guys. The retaining wall was $17,000 that we didn't share with you guys. So how many?
I understand.
It's gonna be in the tens of thousands of dollars. Then, if you wanna project something like this, that's what we're gonna do, is take a running average and project costs going forward, then that number's gonna have to get even higher. We're gonna project failure and losses and, accidents and things that happen, We're willing to work with you guys, we've proven that for the last 4 years, we haven't raised a dollar.
Well, we can't speak for this board, but I'm willing to sit down.
Absolutely. That's why I
talk
came.
some more about it.
I saw the video online, and I was like, instant, my antenna was on, I was like, there's numbers here flying around that are not accurate. I mean, these transfer station costs did not go up $20,000. Yes, the cost of the loader and stuff that the highway department said, it's all temporary things that were set in place because you guys had to move your sand and salt by the lake. You couldn't put your fuel there, so you're getting fuel from us up there. So all these things are supposed to be temporary items, and these temporary items have now been going on for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. So at some point, we need to sit down and figure out what these are gonna cost us as towns, because I know one thing, it costs Town Hope a lot of money.
Stephen, you just said that we couldn't have our fuel there. What about the new fuel tank that is now behind this old salt shed?
I don't know.
Within maybe 20 feet of the taking line? What about that?
Yeah, we have a new fuel tank.
Why?
But we no longer need fuel to.
You can't put it there.
But you can't put it there, Phil.
There's no containment, and the wiring is
It's a
a
triple wall. It's a double wall tank, it's all
It
legal.
doesn't matter.
It's there. We can have our own fuel.
You can't.
Wasn't it just brought up that the fuel tank had to be removed because it couldn't be there?
Yes.
I just heard this.
Yes.
Yeah, and so if you can't have it, couldn't have it then, why can't you have it now? I'm just questioning.
It's inside.
No.
Couldn't have it inside.
Couldn't have it inside, all right.
We have it outside undercover, brand new 1,000 gallon fuel tank. No permits needed because it's under 1,500 gallons.
Okay, but the one thing, I've been listening, and the one thing I've been reading the 360 regulations for transfer stations. And I think Hope is considered your registered transfer station. You're not permitted, it's registered because you don't bring in the tonnage that you normally bring in. But under registered even, there's a tremendous amount of stuff that you have to do with the 360 regulations that's gonna cost this town an awful lot of money. To make this, and if it's only gonna be temporary down there, is that really something that you wanna spend the money down there and not get on board with Hope? If eventually you decide to buy a piece of property, you get a piece of property, would it make sense to be putting the infrastructure in there instead of down at town barn where you're not gonna use it? Doesn't, I would think that would make sense.
When we started this thing and talked about the town barn, we don't really want it. We wanna have a piece of property off, away from everybody. That's where we wanna have it.
Like Town of Hope already has.
We go that way.
If you go that way, but if you decide to go that way, you still have to put in, based on the regulations, the infrastructure to make it compliant.
We do.
Okay, and also, I think you might find out, there's other entities besides just the people of New York, of the town of Benson, that have interest in what's going on down there. And they might be interested in this also. We do live in the Adirondack Park. APA is gonna be involved somewhere.
What
I just
about,
wanted to, the main reason I came tonight is just go over some real numbers. If you guys have any questions, we'll answer them.
We're up for another committee meeting.
Yeah.
We'd like to have a
One
committee
thing
meeting.
with
Yeah, yeah.
Now, they're talking the fuel tank. Now, for the past 2 weeks, they've parked things in front of the fuel tank where we haven't been able to get to it. There's something there tonight. It's been like that for the last 2 weeks.
Well, you just said you guys had your own.
No, we're not using it
No,
yet.
we haven't.
I don't
We're
know.
still
Like I
using
said,
it.
what you guys
There's
have.
still fuel in there. We haven't been able to get to the tank to use it because there's been equipment parked in front of it.
So can I?
But that's
can
a
I-
different issue.
That is.
Let's table that, please.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
time for it.
Okay.
This is a committee meeting,
I can't speak for our highways. I just can't speak for our highways.
No, it's
and
just-
that's a different department that you and Zach and a committee.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that we have to take a more active role in this, because we've been led, unfortunately, and I apologize for not doing my own homework. It's interesting running a small place with only 7 miles of highway, that we still have to follow every regulation there is. And, sometimes we get caught up in that 7 miles of highway and only 200 residents, but we're still an active part of New York State and have to follow all those laws, which we don't always like to follow in Hamilton County, shall we say? So I apologize for that,
No, I
for me
appreciate that.
personally.
Just circling back to the numbers of the residents, as much as I wanna feel that matters, to me it really doesn't, because you guys pay your own tipping fee, so the amount of physical garbage that you guys take goes to the Lake Pleasant, gets weighed, and you guys get the bill for that. We get the bill for what goes in ours.
So I'm thinking a part of this should be education, not only for us, but for the community. I mean, this is the most people I've ever seen here. So part of me is going, yay,
Yeah. The fees for
in
whether,
a embarrassed, humiliated kind of way.
the fees whether it's for 10 people or 1,000 people, I think would remain almost the same. We're gonna be open the same amount of hours.
So again, that should be brought out to everybody, not just us, but so that we make better decisions too.
Well, you know, I used to get a town of Benson letter once a month way back when, like the letter stopped. What about putting back out information to the town in a letter once a month?
Well, actually,
on
that
topic of any of
that's gonna
this?
bring up, well, yes, we are talking about that. We are updating our website. We're going to a new website. We
Well,
are
I'm sorry,
trying
I
to-
don't do computers. I'd like a letter in the mail.
So that's
always
what
ready to be available.
Well, we're very open to working with you guys, that's all I really wanted to say.
And we are too.
We haven't burnt any bridges,
Well, that would be good.
you know.
Yeah, at this late date, it would be good not
I
to do
mean,
that.
the town has other properties besides at the town barn. There's the sand pit up the other end of Benson that doesn't have hardly anybody living anywhere near it, so that the smell and all that wouldn't be an
There are
issue.
people right across the road.
Are they full-time?
There are,
Full-time?
on that 2/3 of a mile stretch,
Yeah.
called Town Barn, there are 10
Well, we
residents
understand
and a
that.
building lot. And I drove down Washburn
When we first
Road.
started this, that was just something,
That's why he's
we were just talking if we had to be there.
Well,
The
you're
other-
there now.
No, I mean as far as
There's 6
as
dumpsters.
far as the transfer station. But anyway, Steve, we'd like to have another committee.
Yeah, let's set it up.
And where it's a committee meeting, where we can all
Diane, do
sit
you have
and talk.
anything? Okay.
Steve?
Like I said, I don't speak for my whole board, yes.
If I may,
Yep.
just to jump in, as former supervisor, when I come to the meetings, record them, the public can see what's going on. To answer the question about the truck, and Scott, I'm looking right at you because you brought it up. I'm glad you did. I brought that up in the beginning because I knew about what it was. I knew the financial arrangement, but you folks didn't. So I planted the seed, hoping you'd look into the contract, which you ultimately did. God bless you. The part that bothers me, though, I was also a supervisor, as Phil is now, chief financial officer, responsible for the budgets. David Pincombe here was the deputy supervisor. He knows the time we spent on budgets. When you had that resolution last meeting, the July 7th, and you transferred $60,000 from the general fund, there'd been no public hearings, no talk about it, and you had never talked about it when you were planning your 2026 budget. And you're supposed to, before you transfer any monies, make the public aware of what you intend to do in your budget for that year. If you had waited towards the budget this year and said, hey, we're going to need to come up with $60,000 for a roll-off truck because we're thinking about putting together a transfer station, that would have been acceptable. The way you did it is outright illegal, and there's tons of stuff on record that's illegal. Secondly, what Steve will probably remember this, while I was still in Benson as a citizen, I came to your meeting while I was here when that contract first came out, and I said, I want to know, are you going to have a separate contract on this truck? Because right now it's just listed as an unknown, unnamed truck. You remember that?
Yeah, I did, yep.
Okay. And it was at an end there. So I knew sooner or later somebody was going to have to figure out what contract is there, because it was never decided how long is a contract. If there's a contract, how long is that truck contract? How many years you're paying? Is it a forever type thing? Is it a specific truck? Is it just a general truck? My point is, Lori, you brought it up best at the July 7th meeting about having a plan, having a financial plan, knowing what you want to accomplish, organize your facts, then present it. But instead, it was presented as a rush in, buy a truck, because in this case, the supervisor decided a transfer station would be financially better off for the town of Benson. I've seen the numbers. I'm telling you, you will be, as a board and as a town, way over your heads, legally, financially, in so many ways. And you have been undercharged, in essence, for the services of the transfer station over the years. So whatever you can work out with them, don't feel like you've been getting it stuck to you, because I've seen the numbers when I was supervisor. Nobody was getting it stuck to them. It's just a very expensive proposition with all the laws and regulations and making sure you meet all the requirements. So if you go in with open hearts, open eyes, you can negotiate something, but don't go in with the idea that Hope is somehow screwing you over, because they're not. They're trying to do the right thing for everyone. And that's my policy too. When I bring up stuff to you folks, I try and go in my experience and have you look at things, examine things, think about things before you act. Thanks.
I have a question. When it comes to your, the roll-offs and stuff like that, has anybody ever considered of getting a trailer like they do for the roll-offs on the containers? They have trailers available for 20s and 40-foot containers that can be pulled by a 3/4 ton or anything you want. And that would be a great backup for anybody that needs it when your truck is broke down. Or you just hook right onto it, take it up, dump it, bring it back, park the trailer. You don't have to worry about buying another vehicle. You don't have to worry about purchasing insurance, any of this stuff. Of course, take 50% off the top if you want to eliminate that truck and get a couple trailers. I mean, these containers are all over the road, and that's exactly what you're doing with that truck.
So Steve, you want to set up a committee meeting up there, and we can just go over some more of this stuff?
Well, yeah, we'll do that if you guys want to do.
Try to get more figures for us and stuff. And
Like I said, we do have time. I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're there. You guys are there. I mean, this is just talk, in my opinion. So we're more than willing to move forward, and we want to lay all the numbers out on the table. And if you guys want to,
we'd like to see all the numbers. That's what's important. That's how we can determine what we're going to do.
Yep.
One last item, if I may, just so you all know, there are now transfer station stickers at the town available through Robin Wilson.
Yep, our top third, yep.
And so if you get one on your window, I think she said install them on the left rear window where the transfer station personnel can see them when you come in, but you only get the one for your, you know, if you have two cars, you can get two, obviously, but they don't get handed out to anyone. You have to sign off your name and stuff and your license plate number and all that. But it is available now for Benson residents as well as Hope residents.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mike, we're in possession of the truck, right?
Yes.
Registered, insured, and all that?
Yes.
So that's extra costs that we didn't need to incur. At the present time, we don't need to incur. Because I think the chances of us wanting a transfer station on Town Run Road are slim and none. So we should be starting a plan right now to go to Auctions International and potentially list that once discussions with Hope get along a little bit. Because that's, shouldn't have been spent. We should have had this meeting before the 7th.
Yes.
Next week, Steve, was it, we'll have another committee meeting?
I hear something shaking your head back there. You're not here, but I will have to send an email out and a text message to the board.
Let us know.
Is that,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I can work
is that okay with the board?
ASAP, or you guys want to wait till the next meeting next month?
No, we got, just a minute. We'd like to sit down with both boards where we could talk
Yep.
and discuss stuff.
Is this going to be open to the public where we can now find out what's going on?
That's the only, legal way to do it,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be open to the public.
Yeah.
It also has to be advertised. If you're gonna go up to Hope, you have to put it in the newspaper on the website so that you don't have a quorum. Like when you went up there to the meeting as a group, it had never been advertised or posted or any meeting notes put out, and there were all of you there. That's highly illegal.
In the last meeting, you stated that you had retained the services of the Hamilton County Attorney, is that correct? Or I guess you haven't, so, because
We haven't, as of yet, got that settled yet.
Because I'm concerned to your, also to your point, we are in violation right now, and I'm afraid going forward with the, I appreciate your excitement and your energy, and Phil, you move things forward. My only concern is if we go a little too fast, then we fall under the threshold of illegal practices or liability, and we need to protect our great little town. If that's belt and suspenders, I mean, even if you raise taxes, I mean, how many shareholders, stockholders, my own possession, how many, residents, well, residents, yeah, taxpayers.
Probably 190.
104, yeah, but how many landholders pay taxes? There's quite a few.
Big ones in New York State.
I'm sorry?
The big one being New York State.
Yeah.
New York State's our biggest.
No, I mean, the number of shares, I did the arithmetic, of $60,000, $1.40 a week per taxpayer. I might be wrong, but depending on how many residents, 80 houses or 141 houses, I don't know. 50%. But I think those numbers, you know, if we look at it, and look at the law, and look at how much we're gonna have to probably spend for this transfer, and I think that you've had very intelligent input here from concerned people, and my concern is, you know, you could get away from you, building a house. You know, I built my house, I put a 25% contingency in there for oops. We're gonna get it.
I think it's good that we get this discussion, and it gives us more idea of what's going on. We really don't know what goes on. And it's a good idea that we discuss it, and we'll set up another committee meeting.
So how do we as residents find out when this meeting is? Like, how's it gonna be?
It'll be posted.
Posted on where?
On
On the website,
On a website? Okay.
probably Hope and Benson.
Yep. Like I said, I had talked to the board before.
Right, well,
Yeah.
you email me or something.
Yep. I'm sure there's no problem getting the meeting together, because I know everybody's anxious to talk about it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Steve.
No, thank you.
And
Thank you very much, Steve.
We really just want to work together. I'm sure we can figure this.
Our biggest problem right now is highway department's not working.
Absolutely. That's why we had, that's
And it's-
literally the only
it's a
reason I called
major-
that meeting.
it's a
for you
major
guys.
problem.
Hopefully,
Okay,
we can.
different committee meetings.
Yes.
We'll have 2 committees.
Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to resolutions. Authorizing transfer of funds for 2025 salt and sand invoice sent down from the county. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vouchers. General account of $14,536.
It's $11,000 that they're
Highway
transferring
account,
for $11,000 that he just transferred.
Well, it needs to state that to the public, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
$3,397.74, grand total $17,933.81. Can I get a motion to accept the voucher?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Anything else from the board before we?
Well, as far as the historical committee, the 250th, we are gonna have a family history day here in August. We're still talking about dates for that. And if anybody knows where my banner went that was down at the bottom of the road, please, let that person return it. The 250th banner that was at the bottom of Benson and.
On the telephone pole?
On the telephone pole. It disappeared.
Someone took it.
There are other events, historical events, going on throughout Hamilton County through the rest of the year. And, just check the Hamilton County Historians page, Facebook. We, as the town of Benson is, talking about having a new website that's more visually, user-friendly, and information will be more user-friendly, along with maybe a linked Facebook eventually. Thank you.
I'd like to make a request before you guys close that you also have a formal process for public comment at the end of meetings. I know it's been discussed before, but I think that would be a wise idea.
We'll talk about it.
I second that.
Thank you.
Do you want to discuss with Frank, about the property up here? We're in session now, or not right now?
No.
Have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you so much.
I didn't have to be my neighbor for 5 days.
Thank you.